Well, I was playing a little bit today, I guess, with philosophy. Just sitting and thinking about all things, the divine, existence, relativity, being, and I don't know, just rolling it around in my head, trying to see more clearly an ideal or a reason for all of this. I don't know how many of you have seen that movie. I might date myself with this, called Men in Black. Anyway, the premise of the movie is that the bad guys, I don't remember why they're doing this, but the bad guys are looking for a lost galaxy. And it turns out that this entire galaxy is actually in a marble that's hanging around the pendant or the collar of a cat. And you find that out in the movie, and the movie kind of plays with ideas like that. As a matter of fact, the ending of the movie is a camera zooming out of Earth, zooming out of the solar system, out of the Milky Way, and you find that there's this giant hand holding a marble that has our galaxy that Earth is inside that marble, and they're playing marbles on a big, I don't know, big expanse. And it just plays with this idea of relativity, which is what I like and what I've been thinking about. That within relativity, things only have value when you have more than one. Everything has to be comparative in order for you to know where things are or how big things are. Everything has to have a measuring point. And so without that absolute standard or that measuring point that we've talked about before, there's no beginning for relativity. there's no way it can start. And we don't know if we're infinitely small or infinitely large, because those are all comparative values. And I mixed it with this remembering playing this game. The first time I played a video game, which I've never been much of a gamer, but I get the draw. But I guess it was probably 30 years ago, I picked up a game called World of Warcraft and was playing it on my PC. And, I got so wrapped up in the amazing fact that you had this world that you could wander freely through, of course, fighting demons and ghosts and orcs and all of that. But it just went on forever. And I was sitting there, and it really was interesting to me that I was investigating an infinite world that I knew was taking place in only a little tiny square chip on that computer, that no real world was necessary for the illusion of a world. And of course, being interested in philosophy and liking these kinds of ideas and being on my own quest for a divine understanding or realization, it makes you think a lot about the nature of this world, that it doesn't necessarily have to be so big. We see it big and relative to ourself, to this body or mind, but the true size of the universe, we have no way of knowing. It could be in a marble. It could be as big as, a billion universes. We have no idea whether it's big or small. And so this idea of God not being interested in us because what are we? We're so insignificant and so small. That's a relative statement, and I don't think God is a relative idea. So I don't think to God there's big and small. I think there's isness, there's being. And in this idea of spirit, or this idea of an identity separate and apart from body mind, that size is irrelevant, that there are no boundaries. And actually, that's the point, that there is a oneness that comes out of this relativity, that I think might be the founding absolute from which everything has been measured. That this founding absolute is divine, the divine presence, divine love, divine spirit, immeasurable, and it is the first pole in a dual world from which everything is measured. And what we do, since we're built or created in that image of the divine, according to some of the traditions in the world, that we are born into this world, and we take on that measuring stick. We measure everything according to ourselves. And so this is how we know, or at least one pointer for us having that divine nature, a roundabout one, no doubt, but certainly one to think about, that it's part of our divine nature to center ourself in the middle and measure everything from us, because within us lies that unchanging absolute, that divine love and wisdom. And so think about this world. Let it point to God, to the divine for you. Let it teach you about the divine. Is your idea of a divine simplistic? Is it anthropomorphic? Is it invisible? Does it have form? Is it without form? All of them are fine, the sages say. Think of the divine as you like, that it's all of that and more. But certainly the most important thing is that the love it inspires within, the wisdom that it forms within, in searching for that understanding, for that knowledge of truth, is well worth a life, well worth your spare time at least.